Live time. We're live. My God. My God.
I'm sorry.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mothers Unfiltered, where we are very unfiltered today, unfortunately. We have Chef Amadeus as our special guest. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm going to pass it over to Ty.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back and welcome to all of our newcomers. As you know, we don't stream on my personal Facebook page anymore, so I don't have to mention that again after today. If you are not a subscriber and you like what we do, go to YouTube, type in Mothers Unfiltered. You'll see our beautiful new logo, of Chef and his graphic designer. What's her name?
Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Chef. So you get to see our beautiful logo. Subscribe, like, share, press the alert button so you know when we're on, and then we're good to go.
Yes, so let me introduce you to Chef Amadeus. He has a long bio, so I had to cut it in half. So I'm so sorry. I'll get all the good points though. So
I apologize for doing some things in my lifetime. I apologize up
front. So, Chef Amadeus is the winner of the Food Network's Extreme Chef Mexican Showdown, which is phenomenal. I've seen that episode, so yay. Founding member of American Culinary Federation, Mid-Florida East Coast Chapter, past president of American Culinary Federation and the First Coast Chapter, a reoccurring guest chef on The Lowdown with James Vaughn, and creator of Southern Passion Spices, a salt-free line of spices. Chef was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. He grew up cooking with us, with his grandmother, who was from Puerto Rico, and his mother from Philadelphia. And during a stint in the Navy, I won't hold that against you because I'm on the Everything else is perfect, but I'm not gonna hold that against you. He was exposed to various cuisines, and he honors it in his dishes today. He's devoted over 25 years developing his culinary skills in Europe and the Caribbean, Pacific Northwest, and he has returned to Jacksonville sharing those amazing flavors. But most importantly, he enjoys mentoring high school culinary students and regularly contributes his time to nonprofits, organizations. He sits on 2 culinary advisory boards in Jacksonville and St. Augustine, Florida. Chef Amadeus is quickly becoming one of country's favorite chefs to have in their home, stage, TV, and restaurants. And we still love you, even though you was in the Navy.
Wait a minute, what branch were you in?
I'm in the Army. I'm Army strong all the way.
Yeah, I know. So I tell people that tell the young kids they want to go in the Marines and the Army to cook. I'm like, if you go in the Navy, you don't get shot at, right?
That is true. But I want to start off asking like one of the serious questions, because of course today I wanted just to have that conversation and have it really light, but we're all still being affected by coronavirus. Coronavirus has impacted the hospitality field tremendously. With that being said, right before the show started, we mentioned that there are places still shutting down, or about to shut down. They reopen, they're closing again. With that being said, how has coronavirus impacted you personally in regards to being able to be in front of the audience, cooking for them, big crowds and these things, because that's what you're kind of, around that often?
Well, as a matter of fact, when they start shutting down everything, I was actually working at TPC Sawgrass up in the clubhouse. I was cooking up there. The day that I got there on that Thursday, that's when they shut everything down. Wow. And it impacted me for at least the next 4 months, because the following month I was supposed to be at the Masters, being a private chef at the Masters. But with that, I had to rethink what I was doing and how to do it. And right now, a lot of people always ask me and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I always say productive and relevant. So that's what you have to always do. I have chefs that their restaurants closed down. I
Man.
had them, go to 50% capacity. And here's the thing that really impacted the industry. Those brick and mortar restaurants that serves 150, 200 people and they packed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they were just doing curbside. And people are like, well, they're still working. But you don't realize this. They didn't sign up to have a 3,000 square foot food truck.
Never thought about that.
So they're not designed to have only pickup or delivery. So yes, they have money coming in, but it is not nearly enough where they were going at. So that's why I hate to say this, but if you really want to support your local restaurants anywhere in the country and make sure that they continue to thrive, me personally, I would either go to that restaurant, pick up from that restaurant, and not use Grubhub and all those other places because the restaurants have to pay Grubhub.
Wow.
Part of their money. So if you really want to support your company, your restaurant, your chef, you place your order and you go pick it up or have them deliver. Some restaurants have delivery services, but have the restaurants do everything because Grubhub and all those things, they're getting paid a bunch of money and not do anything but take food to point A to point B.
Right.
And even though that's a they consider that in the hospitality industry, but support your local restaurants. Go pick it up yourself. Have them deliver it for you and things of that nature. And that, believe it or not, that $5 and $10 that goes to Grubhub per order and however they do it, that can go in somebody's pocket.
I didn't know if you were going to ask.
No, you go ahead.
No, and it's interesting that you said that because so as a consumer, of course, safety first, because you got to go home and then whatever you're introducing out to bring it to your family. I'm assuming that everybody has these protocols and their standards where they're cleaning the restaurants down and they're doing what they need to do. But with that being said, from what I saw, I have seen some people get a little relaxed. Especially here in the South in Florida, I've seen in my area people get relaxed because I guess it's like, okay, it's we got it, it's fake or whatever. But I mean, from what you're seeing, have you seen that the standards are still there and they're still doing all the proper protocols to make families feel safe?
Well, here's the thing. If you go to chain restaurants, they're doing that a lot. If you go to restaurants that have chefs in them, they're doing that a lot. Okay. Some restaurants, they get lax because they're in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you do whatever and however it takes by any means necessary to put that food on your family's tables and your employees' tables. So, you just have to go in with your mask up, get masked up. Don't worry about all the other stuff because you have to be masked up. You take care self-sufficient first. So if you get masked up, and you also can do this. If you walk into a restaurant and you don't feel like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, you can always leave.
True.
You can always just leave. Now, if someone asks you why you left that restaurant, then you tell them why you left that restaurant.
Okay.
Because you felt unsafe. You felt that, people were cooking, well, people, especially at the counter, had no mask on. And like I said, you just felt, it's like going to Subway and watching them make your sandwich without gloves.
Ooh. Oh,
see, if you saw that, I'm not saying that Subway does that, but if you saw somebody in Subway making your food with no gloves on, would you like, I can't believe they doing that and still get your sandwich?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing. If you go into a restaurant and you don't feel safe in there, you just leave.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Ooh,
So
well,
that's the biggest thing is there. You have to think about for yourself
Okay.
and your family, especially with folks that are staying with their parents, watching over their parents, their
Yeah.
grandparents, anything like that.
Definitely.
You out there hanging out at a restaurant and you come home and give them something, then you don't get sick, but they get sick.
right.
So these are the things that you have to look at from a personal standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, there are restaurants out there that will tell if you Google their restaurant, they'll tell you whether they do curbside, whether they do delivery, whether they do dine in. And then if you go dine in at a place that has a patio.
Yes.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah,
If
so like last night, I did an event last night. Last night, and it was a couple of folks there, but we did it outdoors. We did a Dutch oven dinner for a fundraising, and we did it outdoors. And the reason I wanted to do it outdoors because it's outdoors and you spacious. You got if everybody was masked up, you still get to walk around. The air is blowing. We had a we had a little bonfire going. So make sure that you are staying safe. Don't worry about everybody else because you can't worry about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just worry about you.
It's funny that you said that because when I think about dining out, I do think about the patio experience and I also look at the hours of operation. So I try to go when they're about to close and different things like that because there's less people compared to those, those busy times. So I guess
I don't like dining out. I like a home cooked meal. That's what I like. That's the experience of the love.
Well, the best time to go. Well, the best time to go to a restaurant and it's not crowded is between 2 and 5.
Okay.
So you go between 2 and 5. Because think about this. Right. Because if you go to lunch, if you work at a corporate place, you go to lunch, you only got an hour, 30 minutes or an hour for lunch. And between 2 and 5 is when you have to be back at work.
Yeah.
And you don't get off till 5 o'clock. The average don't get off till like 5 o'clock. So go between 2 and 5 and it's less crowded.
So go ahead.
I like I said, I'd rather have a home cooked meal. Just
okay, so let's incorporate the question that I was going to ask based on what you was going to say. So I know from what I read upon and what you mentioned to me that people will request services like, hey, can you show me how to cook? Can you do this? And you're doing like a Zoom meeting type of thing where you're showing them and you're prepping and doing these things. Talk to me about that because it sounds like it's like the perfect catch-22 for the whole corona.
So I have been since the corona has hit us so hard, but there are people that still want to enjoy cooking and they want tips and everything like that. So I do virtual cooking classes.
Yes.
I've done them for people on the West Coast, East Coast, and it's so much fun for me to do. I did one on Saturday. I did a virtual cooking class on Saturday, and it was about men eating healthy and all about health for men. For men.
Yeah.
And one of the things I did was they wanted me to take a simple cuisine, simple dish, and make it just a little bit healthier. Not because some people just ain't gonna they gonna do what they gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So what I made was I did baked chicken wings, legs, baked beans, and I made a potato salad. So the baked beans, what I did was I had peppers, onions, and celery, sauteed those up, seasoned it with my spices, a little bump. Then I got a can of baked beans and poured off almost like 75% of the juice off of that. So that cuts down the sodium by so much. Put it in a pan and cooked it. instead of adding sugar to it, I added agave to it. So now that brings it down, the sugar content down. And then you can add mustard to it and just let it simmer. And that's your baked beans.
Oh
Okay.
wait, break it up.
Some people like putting meat in their baked beans.
Yes, I put
So
turkey.
if you're gonna put meat in your baked beans, right, you can put turkey in there, which is I like turkey because it's a lean cut of meat, um, and that's what you want to put in there, something that's lean. And then with the chicken, so my spices have no salt in them. So the chicken wings, I use the Southern rub. I use the Southern rub. There you
Oh,
go.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
pull it
Southern
back
rub.
a little
Pull it back a
bit.
little bit so we
Pull
can
it
see.
back.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
okay.
Uh,
And then so that one has coffee, sugar. It has the little bump and the Chino 5, the other two spices. And then I just baked it. No salt, no nothing, just olive oil, the seasoning, and get underneath the skin. Because one of the things that bothers me, people like,
Mm,
oh, they got the best wings, they got the best wings. But if you really want to know who got the best wings,
you
take
better.
anybody's wings. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
whoever it is, whether it's at a restaurant or at home.
Mm-hmm.
Take the skin off and then try the meat.
Exactly.
and
Because
see how
nobody seasons their chicken to the bone.
I am. Oh,
I do.
I don't
go ahead,
so like I
James.
go to restaurants. I go to restaurants. I tell them all the time. I say it's the sauce. It's not the meat. I mean, you could put that sauce on anything, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, this is the best sauce ever."
Yeah.
But season your chicken underneath the skin. Let it marinate for a minute. And then the other thing too is with your protein, any protein, the best way to cook it is cook it at room temperature. Because
Mm.
if you cook it at room temperature, it cooks evenly all the way through. If you take chicken out of the refrigerator, season it, and then cook it, you ever walk outside in the cold? What's the first thing you do? You tighten up, so
right.
nothing can penetrate that meat because it's so tight. But when you walk into the house, you're more relaxed, and it's the same way with protein.
Wow.
When the protein's cold, it's all the fibers are so close together you can't penetrate that meat. But if you let it come to room temperature, you can penetrate the meat with seasonings or your marinade or whatever you have. So
Mm.
then the potato salad I made it with cauliflower. So once you get the cauliflower florets, and this is the way I
That's
cook
the
it so you don't
my
overcook
face, right?
it.
You're
So
like,
you
huh?
bring some water to a boil, and then put the cauliflower in there, and then turn the heat off and put a lid on it. That way it's cooking slowly because there's nothing like having potato salad that's like mashed potato salad.
Right.
So this way you get to cook the cauliflower. It still has a little bite to it, has a little give to it, and then make your salad like you normally do: the mayo, the mustard, the sweet relish,
Does it have the
onions,
same
pepper, you
texture?
put all that stuff
Does
in.
it have the same texture?
Huh?
Does it have the same texture?
It does. It does.
Wow.
I'm telling you, as long as you don't overcook it, it is perfect. Tastes like it tastes like your regular potato salad because all the other ingredients there are the same. And I topped it off with a little smoked paprika. So if you look at it, it looks like potato salad.
Wow.
So
I
like
know
I
that.
said, you just cook. The one thing about cooking is this. We I tell people all the time, if you're trying to lose weight or change your eating habits, the easiest thing to do is just eat clean.
Mm.
Eating clean is not healthy. Eating clean is your first step to going healthy. So what
Mm.
that means is you make a lot of things from scratch yourself and you just cut out those preservatives. Because once you
Right.
take out those preservatives, and here's the thing: if you like salad dressing, people love to go to the grocery store and get, oh, I'm eating healthy because I got the light salad dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. If you go get get light, you might as well get the regular one because the light has more sodium than the regular one.
Wow.
But if
Did
you
not.
want to buy, but if you want to buy something that's less processed, when you go to your produce department, there's salad dressings in the produce department. Go get those because why? They have an expiration date that's coming up. They're not 5 years down the road. They're coming up real soon.
Mhm.
So it's less preservatives in there. So anytime you go down the aisle, it's preserved. Anything. So then you want to shop around the store, the healthy edge. So everything, if you next time you go to the grocery store, look at everything that's on the outside, on the edge of the store. Nothing is you got fresh meat, fresh seafood. All this stuff is always fresh. Fresh bread, everything that they make there. So that's how you got to do it.
Okay, but wait a minute. I wanna talk about like the home cooking, and you talked about people trying to eat healthy. We have the holidays coming up, and my typical household for the holidays, we do like a turkey, ham, collard greens, potato salad, candy yams, stuffing.
Well, y'all get down over there.
I mean, that's normally what we eat, but I also want to watch out for like the sodium intake. For my parents, I want to watch out for, the pre-diabetes stuff. And so what should I be doing, or what should we be doing to tweak that?
Take away the ham. No ham.
Yeah, no ham.
Well, here's one thing that I tell people. They look at me like, I would have never thought about that. Let's start with your collard greens.
And my mama makes those collard greens. I don't make those collard greens. My mama make those.
Some collard greens.
My mama got some good collard greens.
The ancestors come tap you. Yes, baby.
And can we get to that too? Wait, break down the collard greens.
So let's break down collard greens. Collard greens has meat.
Yeah.
The collard greens, it has. Some people put a little sugar in their collard greens.
Yes.
They put a little vinegar, a little acid, a little vinegar in their collard greens. Right?
Yes.
So
No
how do we
stem.
make that healthy? Huh?
I said no stem.
No stems. So how do we make that healthy? Here we go.
Oh boy. My dad's mad.
So you get olive oil. Okay. And you're gonna saute onions. You're gonna saute sweet potatoes and carrots, and that's where you're gonna get your natural sugars from.
Okay.
I'm like,
okay. Well,
Okay.
no. The only reason why I'm like, okay, is and because when you traditional, you like, okay, I'm listening. Where we going?
So sweet potatoes. Yeah, sweet potatoes.
Okay. Close your mouth, Fry.
I'm sorry.
So then you want to get a broth to put in there. So whatever broth, whether it's chicken or whatever, just make sure that it's there's a product out there that has no sodium in there, which means it has like 3% sodium. Use that. But here's how you don't use as much salt. When you pour that in there, pour more of that low sodium broth than you need. Because now what we're going to do is this. We're going to concentrate it. You're going to reduce it down. And when you concentrate all those flavors. Then you put your greens in there. And now you get the liquor, the pot liquor starts to grow because you got the greens and everything in there. Now you're going to need some kind of acid, right? You pour vinegar in there.
Right.
That's going to cut it.
Here's the thing. You can use vinegar. And for Christmas time, what I do is I add in diced tomatoes. So now it has the colors of Christmas, the red and the green, and it's all healthy.
There you go, Kia. You're red.
Well, we're gonna
You're red.
we're gonna put a disclaimer out there. Chef Amadeus is a professional chef. If you're going to cook for people, try this weeks before the holiday. You need to be trying all this stuff now. Because if you serve that stuff and do the opposite of what
Wait,
you're not coming.
no.
Because of the corona. It's because you ain't
know how the holidays come, and I don't know why they do it specifically on Christmas. But then you see all the pictures. I mean, not on Christmas, but Thanksgiving. You see all the pictures of what everybody cooked.
Yes.
But here's the thing, though. I get a lot of phone calls around this time because, wait for it, somebody is trying to impress the in-laws.
Now, see,
and making turkey for Thanksgiving. And my first question is, have you ever baked the chicken? They're like, no. And you going straight from 0 to 60?
We don't do the dry turkeys.
Okay, but wait a minute. What is one of the worst mistakes that you've seen people make when they're cooking their turkeys?
Number one mistake. Do not buy your turkey on Wednesday. Number one mistake.
Number one.
I have to ask this question, and it's a big debate. Now, I know a lot of us on our, demographics, we feel one way, but I hear it's still a debate. I wash my meat. I hear it's the debate out there. Some people do not wash their meat. Now, can you answer this question in reference to people washing their meat? Because for me, I need to get up in there. I need to give that thing a bath. Like, ain't nobody playing them. Now, talk to me now.
So let me ask you this: when you wash your meat, how are you washing it? What kind of liquid are you using?
I like to wash it with vinegar because that acid is gonna cut all of that stuff out of there, all that slime and that stuff. Then you gotta get a knife and you get the and you don't want that stuff. So I put the gloves on. You know what I'm saying? You gotta smack it up a couple of times. Ain't nobody playing. We don't do dirt over here, but you gotta bleach it.
Okay, so
she took us to church.
So I'm gonna tell you like this.
Okay.
I was a guest chef in Haiti for a food festival called Gui Save.
Okay.
And cooking with Haitian chefs. When I tell you they get down and dirty to clean their chicken and their meats and stuff, their chicken, because they use oranges, a lot of citrus, limes, and lemons to clean their stuff is like white.
Really?
And several of the chefs, they clean their meat. So I'm going to tell you like this. Whatever you've been doing, it's right.
Amen.
Because when it comes down to it, as long as you cook it at 165, it's going to kill all that stuff anyway. But if you continue to wash your chicken. Now, let me ask you this. What got you started washing your chicken?
Well, since you asked, it's a lineage of women that have taught me the ways. And I like to talk about them ancestors.
Here we go.
But that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people, when I ask them, why do you do what you do? And they say, that's what my grandmama did. There's no, and so there's
So it was basically like if you take a piece of chicken, you get a pack of chicken right now, it's going to be bloody. It's going to have the slime. It may have feathers. It may have all this stuff on it. It's on like yellow film. And it's like, who's just eating stuff like this? And I've actually seen people take it and just put it. Now, I understand that salmonella and all these different things will be killed at a certain temperature. That's understood. But I'm talking about who's eating feathers. Who Who's eating slime? Who are these people?
Well,
You need
here's the thing.
to brush your chicken, put it back on.
Kia.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So what I do with my chicken
Mm-hmm.
is when it comes out of the package, what I do
Mhm.
is I soak it in a brine, a salt water brine.
Okay.
And people like, why do you do that?
Soak it for?
Depending on how much it is, probably like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But here's the thing though. When people ask you, why do you do that? I say, well, just watch, you'll see. And you put the brine, you put the chicken in the brine, you wait about and wash it around everything. Wait about 5 or 10 minutes. You see all this stuff floating on the top.
My God. My God.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to
So
see
one
it.
of the most important things that I have in my kitchen is kosher salt, because I use that for so many different things,
Right
from
there.
from making grinds to cleaning my cast iron skillets to curing meats, the whole 9 yards. So I always keep about 3-4 boxes of kosher salt.
Mm.
Okay, wait. I want to switch real quick. I know throughout this conversation with, chef, everyone, if you're just tuning in, you've been talking about like spices, and you do have a spice line that's out. How many spices do you have out?
Well, I have 3 out right now, and I'm about to come out with a chili powder, because right now it's getting ready to be cold, and I'm going to be doing a lot of different events that will be using chili. I'm gonna make different types of chilies, and so as an entrepreneur, what I want to do, one of the things I always tell folks: if you touch it more than 3 times, you got to get paid for it. So I'm not gonna make chili, and people say, "Well, that's really good chili. What's the ingredients?" I don't want to tell them go get another chili powder when I got one of my own.
Right. Right.
Because I'm going to be doing a lot of chilies and chili cooking classes and things of that nature. So, and that's a really good thing that people need to understand too. Is when you have a business, it's all about don't leave anything on the table. Don't leave money on the table. So if I was to do, if I know I'm getting ready to do a whole bunch of chilies for the next year, and I leave that money on the table, think about how many hundreds of thousands of dollars that is for an entire year.
Right.
Versus, you could use my chili powder. And
when you
go ahead.
speak of spices, I have somebody very, very close to me that they can't use spice because they're allergic to it. So even for like maybe just a little like the salt, but all those other things, they just stay away from it in general. So what would you suggest for? I'll go ahead.
No, let me ask you this. So are they allergic to a specific spice?
So pepper, the black pepper, and normally black pepper's in a lot of different things. So what would they do?
Well, no. Here's something that most people don't realize. if they think that they can't have the black pepper, there's a white pepper and there's a pink peppercorn. Okay, the white pepper. The white pepper is normally used. A lot of chefs use that on white things like mashed potatoes and things like that because you don't see it.
Right.
The pink peppercorns they have a little sweetness to it. They have some heat to it, but it's a different type of flavor profile than the black pepper.
Okay.
So there are different types of peppers, and they just have to try and see what makes them happy. I mean, they don't do spicy food at all, right?
Not at all. No.
So one of the things I would tell them to do is literally do a bunch of herbs. So sage, rosemary, Thai basil. You can do I mean, there's a plethora of just different. And then, so with me, when I use a herb, I
Mm-hmm.
use it to the fullest. Like rosemary,
Mm-hmm.
I'll dehydrate rosemary, and then in the morning I have a rosemary tea with agave.
My God.
What?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
yeah. So I like the craziest the craziest tea that I drink, and people look at me like I'm nuts. And you can Google this, and you be like, he's nuts. Is I do an onion skin tea.
Hmm.
Okay, wait a minute. What does that look like, sound like, taste
No,
like,
no,
smell like? What's the purpose? What is it?
Is
What,
it giving you some type of superpower?
what is your breath like? What's going on? Explain
Yes,
to us that word.
Keep-
So
The onion tea.
Okay, wait, Melissa talk about she be telling everything.
Uh-huh.
I have IBS and I'm missing part. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, never.
Oh wow, we don't
what
put
you
that.
say?
She
We unfiltered. What you say?
I don't mean to laugh, Melissa, but it was out of nowhere. She said, I have IBS and I'm missing part of my colon, so I use all herbs.
Okay.
It was just a lot to take in out of nowhere when I said,
So
we love you, Melissa, but we need to know about the onion tea that he over here talking about. I need to know about this special power. Go ahead.
yeah, for real.
What's this onion tea?
so onion tea is and all you do is see, one of the things that chefs do is they utilize the entire um everything from it.
True.
So the onion skin, if you just take the skin off and literally put it in a cup, add hot water to it like a tea,
Okay.
let it steep, and I add agave to it, and there's your onion skin tea.
But what is the benefits of this?
Right.
There's
That's
a lot, the one of the benefits is it helps with your immune system.
Okay.
And it's I was doing some some research. You know, I'm always doing research. Always doing research. And as a chef, we do a lot of research and development. Um, but the big thing was really getting into the immune system, especially right now, because for me, I have underlying issues,
Okay.
so I have to watch what I eat. But the other thing about it is you have to know what you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Know what you're eating. So it says the simple boiling water over several onion skins. You just cover it and let it soak about 15 minutes. That's all you do. So I know everybody look at me like, "Are you serious?" Like,
yeah,
I go to my buddy's place. What?
Well, you know what it is. Now and this is a segue to the next question. So for me, you know, I definitely understand, you know, as a chef and me knowing other chefs, they always say they use every single part of the ingredients. You know, they don't let nothing go to waste. With that being said, you know, teas do take time, you know, to steep the water and this, and I guess whatever you're adding to it. But for the person who's working, you know, hectic jobs and these different things, when it comes to eating right, when it comes to being able to serve your family and just having, you know, something quick, you know, to do, but still not have those preservatives, what are your suggestions? Because like I said, I would love in general to drink different teas. For instance, ginger tea. I know people who drink ginger tea all the time.
Right.
I just well, it's a little sweet, but even the pill, they have the powder form. There's many ways, but I don't have the time for a tea. So just in reference to the families that they're ripping and running, you know, how can they still, you know?
Well, the first thing I would tell you is invest in a vacuum sealer.
Okay.
So when you go to the store, especially, you know, folks that have families, like, you know, husband, kids, and all that stuff there. When you go to the grocery store and you go into these warehouse stores and you buying your meat and everything, when you come home, season it and vacuum seal it in portions. And so when it's time for you um, to eat, let's say, tonight, you like tomorrow, we're going to have chicken for dinner. When you
Okay.
come home, when you get up in the morning, before you leave, take that chicken, put it at the bottom of your refrigerator. And when you come home and start out, it's seasoned. So all you got to do is throw it in the oven.
Right.
You don't have to worry about all the other stuff. The other thing, too, is when you season it, make sure that you want to make sure that it's not too much salt on it, because it'll start curing it as well. So you just want to season it, and put it in it, vacuum seal it. Other thing too is put a date on it and what it is. That way, when you're going through your refrigerator clean up, you're like, "What the hell is this?"
How
You already
long
know what it is.
Wait, how long are people supposed to keep certain foods? Like, how long do you keep food in the fridge or the freezer? What's like the expiration date? If we did again like Thanksgiving meals, so what leftovers for a while? What does that look like?
Well, they last longer when you vacuum seal them because you're taking all the air out of them.
That's what I was going to ask. What the difference between the Ziploc bag and the vacuum seal?
Yeah. Oh, Ziploc bag. I wouldn't use those. But if you use a vacuum sealer, then it takes all the air out, and now it's just that sitting there. Now, because I love you, ladies, here's a tip.
Okay.
If you don't have a vacuum sealer, you can vacuum. You can pretty much vacuum seal without one with a Ziploc bag. And this is how you do it. Nope.
No.
So you get some water, right? And what you do is when you put your meat or whatever in there, it's going to sink down. And what happens is as you drop it down, it'll start to seal up.
Oh,
That's true. Yeah. Oh wow.
that is.
When you sit it down,
Yeah.
it seals it up, boom. Now that's just for me. I think that's really good to do, but I prefer a vacuum sealer, and I have a vacuum sealer that it give me issues sometimes, but I laugh at it because I've had this vacuum sealer for like 3 years, and when I say I use my vacuum sealer, I put the miles on that vacuum sealer because I use it for everything from. So I use it for everything from making my own ice packs.
Right.
I'm using it when I'm catering. I put food in there. When I'm preserving things like the chips, cereal, you vacuum seal everything, and it takes. Just saves it from going bad so quickly. So like you get sausages, put them in the vacuum sealer. You could do them like you ever had like hot dogs or sausages in your refrigerator, and your family is not going through them as fast as they used to.
Yep.
Well, what you can do is get those sausages and put them in like 4 in each pack, okay? And you vacuum seal it and throw it in your freezer. That way, next month you can go in there and like, oh, let's do sausage for breakfast. You go in your freezer, let it thaw out, and boom. And you can let it thaw out by letting it sit in water, and you're good.
Right.
So
okay?
would you suggest for those families, the busy ones, or maybe even if you just didn't have the big family, you're single, to like meal prep? So like you already know, like, okay, lasagna Monday, so and so Tuesday.
Yes, I would highly recommend meal prep, and because the meal prep for people is they know what they want to eat, they know how they like it, so if they meal prep everything, then you can like, you know what, Monday I'm gonna have the lasagna, and if it's in your refrigerator, you're like, you know what, nah, I think I'm gonna have the chicken today, so you can mix and match whatever you want. But meal prep is always good. It's a big business. There's a lot of chefs that do meal preps. There's a lot of chefs that will deliver it, drop it off. They come to your house for one day a week and cook everything for you for the week and do that. So
wait,
Wow. What is
wait, you said you do that.
what is a
as a
service
matter
like
of
that
fact,
cost? But what is a
hold on.
service like that cost?
Yes, hold on. Yeah, bring it on in.
So Kia,
Yes.
in Orlando, there is a organization called the Personal Chef Association, the USPCA, United States Personal Chef Association. They're headquartered in Orlando, and they do a lot of meal prepping and they're all over the country. I used to work with one when I lived in Seattle. They have them in New York. They have them all over the country.
And they'll come in and cook.
I don't know how they do it now because of the virus, but reach out to them because they may, like I said, all I know is that company, they have some great chefs. They do some amazing work, and those chefs are fun to work with. So reach out to them. Matter of fact, they have if you go to their website, they have a piece on there called Hire a Chef.
Oh, okay.
So you literally can hire a chef from doing that.
But what does a service like that cost to hire a chef?
Well, it'll run you, I would say at least $300 a week plus food. But if you think about it, you're not shopping, you're not cooking. It saves you so much time that you can do everything else. Because when you go grocery shopping, how much does it cost you?
My God. Feed some hungry teenagers.
So
I went to the grocery store one time and looked at my bill. It was $600. Who are these animals I'm feeding?
Well, here's the thing.
The last time you had went food shopping before that it was that much. Damn.
When you have teenagers.
Well, true. They will.
And here's the other thing about teenagers. Mothers and fathers hate summertime.
So they at the house eating your
because the kids will sit there, they buy food for the week, and the kids be eating everything every day. Like it's Tuesday and we're out of cereal. What are you doing? So yeah, I would highly recommend a meal prep or reach out to that organization and see if you can. Is there a chef in your area that would come and do that for you?
Thank you.
We have Cash had a comment up there.
You want to?
Yeah. So what's something easy but impressive if you are just contributing one dish for beginners? Which is a good question.
Something for a beginner. I would say very simple dishes like, this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but a soup. Soups are easy, and soups are very they're versatile. Soups and stews. So perfect example. If you get a recipe for a chili, what do you normally have with chili? It's cornbread, right?
Right.
So if you get chili and cook it in a pot that you can put in the oven, what you want to do is this, very simple. Cook your chili, then make your cornbread batter, drizzle it on top of it, and then put that in the oven, and the cornbread will cook right on top of the chili. So when you go to scoop it up, you scoop up cornbread and chili.
Wait a minute. Wait. Wait. Can you say that one more again? Just one. You do what?
So you cook chili in a pot. That make sure the pot can go in the oven.
Don't salivate. Wait, stop, chef. 1 second.
The
You want me to salivate, and then I don't want my guests to get sick. Okay, now, chef, go ahead.
I'm back.
I'm ready. We got to put her on pause real quick.
So make you a chili, and you can get any recipe you want. Just Google a recipe, and then then make sure you cook it in a pot that you can place in the oven at about 350 degrees. 350, 400 degrees. So when your chili's done, you can get cornbread and you can make your cornbread and you can put jalapenos and cheddar cheese in there and drizzle on top of your cornbread and put it in the oven. And in about 15 minutes, you're done. And now you have one pot. You only got to clean one pot, and it's
woo.
You all right?
Wait a minute. Wait. I ain't never caught a hot flash over food before, but that sounds.
You say you gotta drizzle. You gotta drizzle this stuff. Yes.
You drizzle on top.
Oh wow, the corn. Wait a minute.
Yes. That was good. Ooh, I'm hungry.
So another simple dish. Here's the other thing too. Another simple dish. Well, the first thing I would tell this person is, the first question I would say, what do you normally cook? And the reason I ask that question is this. So if you tell me what you normally cook is, I make lasagna, I make casserole dishes, I do baked chicken. That just I really don't care what you cook. That tells me how you cook.
I can answer that question for that person. That individual just throws like French fries in the oven, chicken patties, Tyson. So they don't do any cooking. This individual happens to live in my household. I do all the cooking. He reads a lot of directions. And when
okay.
So here's the kicker. So I have to admit, I don't bake at all. The only thing I could cook good for baking purposes would be cornbread. And the interesting thing about that is because when you are regular cooking on a stove and stuff, you could kind of freehand and see how things taste and blah, blah, blah. But when baking, it's very like measurements and you have to do exact to make the bread rise.
You don't like to follow directions.
I don't like to follow that.
Don't listen. Don't feel bad. I'm the same way. So I have people that do a lot of my baking for me. And then when people see me make a sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie or apple pie, they're like, "That you say you didn't bake?" Oh, that's simple shit there.
You ain't
making an apple pie is so. Listen, making an apple pie with a crumb crust on top. That's so easy. Oh, it's so easy. So all you need is this. Go get you a pie shell.
Okay.
It's already made. And you want to blind bake it. And blind baking means you just put it in the oven until it starts to brown a little bit. Okay. Then you go get apple pie filling. Okay. I do this dessert in a Dutch oven when I go camping and when I teach people that. But a different variation. But you get the pie filling, put it in there. Then you get, then you can, I'm telling you this as a shortcut way to do it versus the long way. Because like, you don't have time to do it the long way. So once you get the apple pie filling there, you get, go to the store and you get the oatmeal, the cinnamon oatmeal with the cinnamon brown sugar oatmeal.
Yes.
And you get that. Yeah, you get that and you sprinkle it on top.
Not the sprinkles again. My God.
Sprinkle. You're sprinkling, baby. You're sprinkling, baby. And you cover the whole thing up. Listen. And I'm making it even simpler for you. You can do this. When you get the oatmeal brown sugar, listen, when you get the brown sugar oatmeal, get you some butter and squish it together and put it all over the pie and bake it. And as soon as the top is start browning, you're done. Cut your piece, serve with ice cream.
Yes. Oh, you know what gets me every time you say you gotta sprinkle. What we sprinkling?
Sprinkling.
Sprinkling over.
That's mouth watering. But wait, we had Melissa. She said, "I can't find my honey butter for Thanksgiving. How can I make it?"
That sounds good too.
Okay. First thing you need to do is go to my website and get Chino Pie.
Wait, no, get it together, chef. No, chef. All right, pull it back a little.
Just pull it back.
Pull it back.
Right there.
Right, perfect. Right there. That's
Chino
so.
5.
So you go to my website and you order the Chino 5, and this is what you
website.
do.
Hold on, first tell us
ChefAmadeus.net. Go to ChefAmadeus.net, and this is what you do. You get butter, you get honey, and you get the Chino 5 and whip it together.
My God.
And if you want to take it to another level, get you some. You can put pecans in there, and then if you want to take it, and then for those that want to take it a little further, get your pecans, and you either smoke the pecans. So you got to smoke pecan honey butter.
Damn it! I'm sorry.
No, well, I appreciate that. I really, really, really appreciate that. If you guys ain't here, he said go on his website, chefamadeus.net. My God, I had tears in my eyes. Get 5 seasoning with the butter and the honey, and you want to top it off with the smoked pecans.
Smoked pecans, yes. And you can use any, if you like walnuts, you can put it in any type of nut on there if you want to.
My God.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to recover.
So now we talked about Thanksgiving. So turkeys, cooking your turkey. So the same, I cook my turkey the same way my mom did it. So like I was telling you earlier, the reason you wash your chicken the way you do is because that's the way you was taught how to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people always say, well, I don't know. That's just the way my mom did it or my grandmother did it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I cook my turkey, because on Wednesdays, if I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner, what I do is I cook all my stuff, everything. And then about midnight, 1 o'clock, I season my turkey. And the way I season my turkey is I'll get the little bump. You go to my website and get a little bump. And I mix it with mayonnaise. A little mayonnaise. And what I do is I rub it all over the turkey, underneath the skin, everything, rub it all the way around.
Okay.
And then inside the cavity, I'll put apples, lemons, limes, pineapple, all kind of fruit inside of
and stuff.
So I put like lemons, limes, apples, onions, and put all that inside of the turkey.
Okay.
Now make sure my turkey is at room temperature. So then I get my oven and turn it up to 500 degrees. Okay. And you put that turkey in there for about 10 to 12 minutes, just when it starts browning. And then you turn it down to like 200, 250 and let it cook slowly the rest of the night. And for those that don't believe that work, this is what I want you to do.
Okay.
So you put your turkey on a rack so that it doesn't cook in the pan. Put it on a rack. And for those that think like, well, I'm gonna leave a turkey in my oven all night long. This is what I want you to do. I want you to put like 3 to 4 cups of water in the bottom of the pan. And that's so when you get up, you got something to do, baste your turkey with that.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, you take that same broth and you make your rice with it.
Okay, wait. Oh, God, here we go. Okay, wait a minute. Lord, okay, wait. Hey everyone, that's Mothers Unfiltered with Chef Amadeus. He got me over here having hot flashes. Y'all know I ain't even in menopause yet. But he's doing it.
I'm like,
I wanted to say to everyone, hello to everyone here. Dave, I did see you. I seen Seaside. Hey, boo. But wait a minute. Wait.
No, and you know what the crazy thing is, and I'm so glad you're talking about it, Chef, is because a lot of people, and I ran into them, I do not eat turkey. I don't cook turkeys just because of the fact it can be very dry, or the experience they had is like a very, very terrible experience. I mean, for my turkeys, They're never dry. I don't believe in anything over here. There's no Sahara deserts. With that being said, though, I'm glad that you're taking the time out just to talk about the turkey, because we are going into the holiday season and people just don't know. And if you could also touch about when people want the fried turkey, I always see people burning their house down.
Yeah, the deep fry, they put it in the garage in the deep fry.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So the first thing that has to be done if you want to fry turkey, don't fry it in your house. Please do not fry it in your house because you got this amazing deep fryer. No. And when you cooking it, when you're frying it, make sure it's outdoors, well ventilated kind of place, nothing above it. Even here's the thing, make sure there's no trees over your grease. Because if the flames go up, now you got a tree on fire.
Yeah.
And now your neighbor's mad at you because you ruined their Christmas.
It's happened.
So the best thing to do is this. This is what I tell folks is when you clean your chicken, clean your turkey like you say do, and you season it with all the injections and all that stuff too. Make sure that you pat it dry, and then you slowly dip it into the grease very slowly, and then you let it sit. Now, here's the other thing about fried turkeys. If you never had a fried turkey, keep this in mind. It is not a pretty bird when it comes out. So if your turkey comes out nice and golden brown, yeah, it need to cook a little longer than that. So if you look at what a fried turkey looks like, the meat has pulled down from the legs, and it's fried like fried chicken.
Right.
When fried chicken is golden brown, you know it's done because it's a dark golden brown versus a light golden brown.
Yes. Right.
So those are the type of things, even though you say, well, I cooked it for 45 minutes, just like it's supposed to say. Well, you got to make sure that your temperature is at the right temp. So if you're going to cook a turkey and fry it at 350 degrees, don't put your fryer at 350 degrees. Put it at 400 degrees, because when you drop that turkey in there, it's going to drop the temperature.
Okay.
So now, because if you cook it at 350 and you put your turkey in there, it's going to drop down to like 325, sometimes 300. So now you like, I'm cooking it right. So you have a lower temperature. And believe it or not, deep frying is not a wet method of cooking. Deep frying is a dry method. And to break it down for you, you ever had chicken that was really, really greasy? That's because the temperature was too low. Now, if you get that perfect chicken, the temperature was perfect, and you cooked it the right amount of time. It's not, even when you put it on a paper towel, or a cooling rack, it's not greasy. When you bite into it, it's juicy, but it ain't greasy.
I'm so hungry.
I had two questions for myself, and then I'm sorry, Ty. So during the holiday season, of course, things are so different now because of the virus that's going around. You're not going to have this big household full of 20 people or whatever.
Right.
But even if you have it small and it's like 5 or 10 people, in your immediate family, there's always those people that bring specific dishes, and there's always that one person who wants to make the mac and cheese, and you like, ain't no mac and cheese. We're not doing the soft shells on the stove top. We need the baked macaroni and cheese, that golden brown crisp. So with that being said, on a serious note, are there some pointers that you want to give to the audience who think they can finally come to the table and bring their macaroni and cheese to the head of the table? Because you gotta be well versed in mac and cheese. You gotta have the wings. You don't have no arms, but you know them arms that jiggle. You gotta have them jiggly arms. Get up in there. You know, you don't got the jiggly arm. You need to stay away from the stove. But go ahead.
Wow. Okay.
Unfiltered. Go ahead.
Can you be a little bit more specific on who can make this or not?
I can't shout out no names, but they know who they are. Don't.
Well, Palexia, the first thing I would tell you is this: when you boiling your macaroni, make sure you undercook it, because now it's going to bake again, and that's how you get that mushy mac and cheese, because you cook your macaroni all the way done, and now it's getting ready to go back in the oven, and with all that cheese and sauce, it's going to steam, it's going to break down, and that's where you get the noodles that do that. So undercook your noodles. If it says cook it for 9 minutes, cook it for like 5 minutes. Okay, because it's gonna steam out and cook and all that stuff. By the time that cheese on top get all golden brown, yeah, it'd be good. Because you're gonna let it. Think about this. Not only is you gonna cook it till the mac and cheese is golden brown on top, then you're gonna take it out and let it sit, so it can come together, so it can be easily cut. So while it's sitting, it's still cooking. Same thing when I tell folks about having chicken, steaks, and all those things, and shrimp. When you cooking these things, if you cooking chicken is at 165, and people will cook it till it's 165, and then they take it out and it continues to cook. So now it's at 170, 175. That's how it get dry. Same thing with shrimp. They cook it till it's pink in the water. And when it come out, it look like somebody knuckle because it done curled up so much.
What about salmon?
With steaks?
I had somebody ask me about salmon too. That it's a little.
Same thing with salmon. Same thing with salmon. You cook it how you want, but right before it hits that temperature, you want to take it out and let it rest. So with a steak, here's the thing about a steak: you can tell if the steak has rested enough by when you cut into it. If the juices run out, they didn't let it sit long, they didn't let it rest long enough. So however you cook your steak, whether it's on the grill, on top of the stove, and you finish in the oven, what's going to happen is you take that off and you let it cool. And what that does is it gives those juices enough time to distribute again. So you let it rest like 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how thick your steak is. And that's how you don't overcook it.
My last question is for my my son has been a vegetarian since he was 10, and he'll be 20 in some months, and that's a great thing. But I have a lot of vegetarian friends. I have a lot of vegan friends, and then I also have people that I know that eat gluten-free meals, and it's kind of hard, especially your traditional meal. You got your mac and cheese, you got your bread, you did it, and especially for the gluten-free people, like what are they eating? What can we do to accommodate their needs? And those things.
Oh boy.
So with your gluten-free folks, I like to start with dessert, because I learned how to make this dessert while I was in Washington State. So you ever had a s'more?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's how you make a gluten-free s'more. Instead of using graham crackers, you use a caramelized rice cake, and you put the chocolate, put dark chocolate, and you put the marshmallow, and put another caramel rice cake on top of that, wrap it in aluminum foil and put it in the oven and let it melt. And now when you take it out, you got this gluten-free dessert. For your vegetarian folks that want dessert, and your vegan folks, you get an avocado, you get cocoa powder, and some of my Chino 5,
I got
And
to
you
get
put it you put it in the blender and you blend it up and add agave to make it sweet. And you're making this chocolate pudding with avocado and cocoa powder. And I would highly advise you to make it the night before so that the avocado and the cocoa can marry very, very well. And when you eat it, it tastes like chocolate pudding.
Mm,
For your vegetarian friends,
yes.
one of the things that, believe it or not, I think I ain't gonna say I think, but I talk to a lot of real vegetarians and vegans, and one of the things they really don't like is when people try to make things taste like meat or eat like meat. It's like I'm a vegan and vegetarian because I don't want meat. I want something totally different.
Got it.
So you can make a vegetarian lasagna, and you ready for this? And to switch it up a little bit is you do this. There's a Puerto Rican dish called pastelón, and instead of using pasta, is use sweet plantains as the pasta. And so you make a tomato sauce. You put the sweet plantains on top of that, and then
Yes.
huh?
Come on. Come on.
So
You
you put the tomato sauce, the sweet
Yes.
plantains, and you
Uh-huh.
can get the different vegetables and layer it all the way up. And to put cheese on there, just use the vegan cheese. It melts and it will just in the cheese. I mix it with the little bump to give it more flavor because it has salt in it. So I mix the cheese with a little bump and sprinkle it. So when it comes up to the top, you get that final layer. You put the cheese on the vegan cheese on top of that and bake it in the oven.
Not the sprinkles again.
Sprinkle it, baby.
Well, you gonna stop with that. And I'm gonna tell you right now.
We're gonna sprinkle you, baby.
Not the sprinkles.
So that's how you do a vegetarian dish. The other thing too, you get cauliflower
There's
and
more.
cut it into really thick slices, and you can grill that. So it'd be like a cauliflower steak.
Nope.
And then on top of that, you can put a nice salad on top of that. So now you got this cauliflower steak with a garden vegetable with cucumber, tomato, carrots, all that stuff. And to make a salad dressing, all
Stop.
you need is olive oil, vinegar, and some agave. Blend it up. Boom.
I can't. I stopped. Yeah. My God. You know, stop eating your head aside. This is a live show. There may be kids watching.
I'm hungry. I'm not one of them ones that got the arm stuff that swings. I'm one of the ones that knee knock when I stand still and the wind blows. I'm hungry.
She said, knee knock.
I just want to put out there for the audience that Chef Amadeus definitely creates a culinary experience. At the end of the day, I've seen different videos. When I have people come on the show, I definitely like to do my research. I'm a research person too. And, you know, it's personalized. You know, it's literally an experience. And I think that when you are eating, it should be an experience. You should leave that table. I don't want to say eating your hair like Ty is doing, but you should definitely be able to like, whoa, that was a true experience. And, you know, people are talking about it and many memories are being made at that time. Ty, do you have any questions?
Okay, wait a minute.
Wait, okay.
Well, you know what? Here's another thing that I really push for the holidays, especially when you have friends coming over.
Uh-huh.
Just you know how they like to come over unannounced and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to be prepared for them, if you get puff pastry in the freezer department, let it thaw out a little bit and lay it out. Now you can pick a filling to go inside of there. Anything you get sausage and cheese and roll it and twist it up with plastic wrap. and put it in the freezer. You can get your cinnamon rolls, put cinnamon, put the Chino 5, some sugar, some butter, some nuts or whatever, and roll it up jelly roll style. Put it in your and roll up in saran wrap, put it in your freezer. Do all these things and keep it in your freezer, label it, put it in your freezer. So if somebody come by, just to say we coming by, instead of you worrying about, stressed about what I'm gonna make them, get that stuff, slice it up, put it in the oven. It take 15 minutes. You're done.
I'm gonna put it out there that we will have Chef Amadeus back on.
Yes.
Because
I just want your listeners. Listen, I just want your listeners to know that when they are cooking in the kitchen, they can have a bumping good time in the kitchen. I try to make it not a chore, but a fun thing to do. And I teach people according to how they are. I'm not going to teach you how to make a Peking duck and you never make baked chicken. It just wouldn't do. It's a waste of both of our times. So I interview the people and say, tell me what you like to eat, tell me what you cook for your family, and then I'll show you different ways to, like, people they make meatloaf. So if you make meatloaf, I'll give you 3 other different ways to make meatloaf. So it's the same technique with different toppings and different stuffings of it, and you go from there. So you can do, and I've done this. I just wanted to try and see what it would do. So I've done a meatloaf.
I know, it's a story time.
That's stuffed. I got meatloaf and stuffed it with crab meat. And then I had a rum and coke glaze to it.
Rum and coke glaze.
No.
Yes. I've done the meatloaf. So another thing you can do too is, what goes great with meatloaf is a red wine. So you can do a red wine reduction sauce and put it on top of it. And you can make a red wine, a red onion confit. So you get red onions, chop it up thick, pour wine on top of it, a little bump in there, a little agave, and just let it simmer down till it comes to a syrup. And when it comes down to that nice and syrup, get a piece of cold butter, make sure it's cold, and put it in there and swirl it around and pour that on top of your meatloaf. So now you got wine and you got meat, red meat and wine.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Chef Amadeus here.
I have nothing
on the Food Network, Mexican Showdown winner.
Hold on. So for everybody out there that loves cheesecake and loves strawberries,
that's me.
Be kind to others. Stop.
That's my favorite. Talk to me now. I'm listening.
So get you some Chino 5. Get some Chino 5. You get cream cheese. You get powdered sugar and some Chino 5, and you whip it and put enough powdered sugar in there until it tastes like a cheesecake. Okay, and then you get strawberries and you cut it in half and you pipe that on top of it. And for a topping, just like any other cheesecake, you can pick your topping. So you can do a peach and tequila glaze over your strawberry. And now you got that one. You could do chocolate. You can do, and here's the other thing too.
There's other things. Pick
your favorite drink. If your favorite drink is lemon drop, you can get that lemon drop and drizzle on top of the cheesecake. So now you got this, lemon drop cheesecake. You can make you a lemon drop, mix it in with the cream cheese, and then drizzle some on top. And then you can reduce it down. You get your lemon drop, reduce it down till it's like there's a French term called au sec, which means dry. So when it's almost dry, get some cold butter, swirl around, and pour it on top of your strawberries, stuffed strawberries with cheesecake filling, and now you have this lemon drop glaze on top of that. If you want a quick, there's a sauce called creme glaze. You want a quick way to make that? Get you some vanilla ice cream.
What are you doing?
And make sure the vanilla ice cream has a lot of fat content in it. And what you want to do is you want to melt it down, melt it slowly, and it's going to be a liquid. Then what you want to do, put a flavor in there. So you can put chocolate chips in there, you can put peppermint in there, whatever you want. And then you want to thicken it up with a little bit of cornstarch. Now what you want to do is get those strawberries, pour that creme glaze on a plate, and put the strawberries on top of there.
I can't take
and now you have your stuffed strawberries with a lemon drop glaze sitting on a bed of creme glaze sauce.
Stop.
I'm telling y'all. My God.
And you can use candied peppermint and all that stuff to garnish it with. Crushed peppermint and drizzle on top.
First of all, wait.
Here's a quick peppermint cookie. Here's a quick peppermint cookie for you. Cream cheese.
Y'all the Jews, y'all getting on Mothers Unfiltered. Look, everybody in here, subscribe, like, share. You can look.
So to make a quick peppermint cookie for the holidays, powdered sugar, cream cheese, Chino 5, and crushed up peppermint. Whip that together, and then get you a vanilla wafer and pipe it on the back of the vanilla wafer and pop that in your mouth.
Okay, so I gotta put it out there to everybody listening now, later. We have Melissa says I'm biting my tongue. Okay, what you're not gonna do,
Cayenne is like OMG.
What you're not gonna do, Chef Amadeus, is make us fall out the chair. And
Wait, hold on.
No.
I wasn't ready. I'm over here holding on to a pillow. She biting her.
So listen. So you can be as creative as you want. When I do my virtual cooking classes, I go through all this with you. I'll send you a recipe and the shopping list and everything. And so as I'm cooking it, you're following along with me. So these are the fun things that I do. That is just fun for me because I'm not a baker. So the desserts that I make, anybody can make them. The number one dessert that I make is I call it it's chocolate with and it has a whiskey glaze on it, and so it's a brownie layered with whiskey, chocolate, and then I put the other top on and whiskey, chocolate, and let it sit overnight. And when you cut it, you cut any shape you want, but I always give like a little small piece. And they're like, now the strawberry I told you about with the cheesecake filling, when I'm doing this for my couples and girls' night out, what I do is I cut the brownie into like a little square, and then what I do is I get the strawberry, carve it into a swan, and pipe the cream cheese in the back of it and sit it right there. So the brownie is sitting in the creme glaze sauce, the brownie sits there, and the swan sitting on top of there with the cheesecake coming out of the back.
Audience, I wasn't ready for the swan.
Nope.
Sign up, right? You know, it's so funny because I was looking for a little scrunchie so I can put I'll be right here. I wasn't ready.
So when I come to Orlando, I'll be shooting my show out of Orlando, The Lowdown with James John, and I'm trying to do a couple dinners in Orlando with some of my chef friends. So we just get together and we cook, and people just like have a great time. And I'll make sure I let you know when I do that, Miss Kia.
Thank
So
you.
that you know.
Thank you.
You were, yeah, do you know you're out this way, Chef? You already know that.
Well, I told you. Look, what did I tell you before? Anything below 70, I ain't coming out there. I wear shorts every day.
Well, I'll let all the unfiltered guests know about the experience. Thank you so much.
Like, subscribe, share.
One quick question for somebody. Do you have a cookbook? Freely Commenting wanted to know.
No, I do not have a cookbook, and the reason why I don't have a cookbook, I don't have it with me, but I have like a 6-inch binder of thoughts, and they change so much because I'm doing collaborating dinners. I'm talking with different chefs, from vegan chefs to plant-based chefs, vegetarian chefs, and then I sit back and create these flavors that. And here's the other thing too about me: when I cook a dish, I'm done with it. I move on to the next one, and if I come back to that dish, it's revamped from the last time I did it.
What? See, I hate them.
You over here breaking hearts
and making stomach growl. Somebody,
I make it. It's the bomb, and then I drop the mic. Next, okay.
So everyone, remember www.chefamadeus.net if you want to get a hold of him and his services and spices.
So right now, the big spice everybody's ordering right now is the Chino 5 because it goes with coffee, oatmeal, Christmas cookies. They put it in tea, coffee, pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, apple pie. It goes in with all that.
And can you show us one more again what it looks like for the audience so they know? And remember, guys, he has classes online, question and answer classes, just regular cooking classes.
Yeah, if you go to
I tell you what, if your listeners would go and purchase the Chino 5, I'll do a virtual cooking class for them for 30 minutes.
Hey,
That's for free or no, or price?
Oh, it's for free.
Okay.
So they order the spices, and what happened is when you go to the website, it tells you how.
No. Wait. This is the way we're going to do it. When you order the spice,
so if I order
you got to go to YouTube, Mother Unfiltered. Show us your subscribe. Post the picture.
We're gonna stop real quick. Now, if the host order 5 different spices, I can't believe what you did to me, Chef. I can't believe it.
So you don't subscribe, post the picture on the YouTube channel, and then you will be able to get 30 minutes free.
So Kia, this is what I do for you, Miss Kia.
Yeah, yes, I'm listening.
So if you order the spices, all 3 spices, I will accidentally show up at your house and cook for you.
You got it. Yeah.
You got it.
And you can take pictures and do all your things with that.
Kia got an on-purpose accident.
Wow, thank you so much. I am doing that in the next about 20 minutes. Gotta check on the kids first just to see if they even killed each other, but I will be ordering that.
Don't call me when he's over there to make me jealous. You got another subscriber.
You know, we FaceTime, and if it just happened to go live,
You see?
I can only, you know.
Chef.
Ty, you know I'm gonna bring this with me when I go to the house.
Oh, Chef, don't do that. Don't do that.
So yeah,
You know I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it.
I gotta tell everybody out there that I gotta check on the kids and make sure they didn't kill themselves. I'm gonna go to the website. I'm ordering the spices. Gotta have the Chino. I gotta have that Chino 5. You know how you
Yes,
said with the and the smoke, the pecans. My God,
yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
do all
good.
that, and then we're gonna schedule it so that he's gonna actually be doing something in the house. Somebody says, "Can you call me, Kia?" Woo! This is going to be an experience.
Well,
people.
I just want to give your listeners, your viewers,
Yes,
an experience,
yes.
and let them know that you can have a lot of fun in the kitchen. Put some music on, have some drinks, and just cook. Just literally go ahead and cook, because you're not cooking for a restaurant. You're not cooking for presentation. You're cooking for flavor. Okay. And one of the things that I always tell people is, don't try to cook like a chef if you're not a chef.
Yes.
Just make sure it tastes good and you just have fun with it.
And I'm a jazz listener, so I'm gonna have my red wine.
Listen again, guys.
Thank you.
We have Chef here. He's made a special offer. I don't know how long that offer is going to stand, because that's a lot of services. But y'all better put the information out there. Go to his website. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Mother's Unfiltered. Kia.
So, Ty.
I'm flushing, people.
Kia handled her business with this one. Yes, Chef.
So Ty, let's do this. So let's do it for the first 30 people that do that. I'll do a free 30-minute cooking class with them.
Okay, I want to be specific because you don't give timelines. People be trying to get it for life.
Well, they need to order it. They need to order that by let's give them to next week. Get that the whole week. They got this week to do that.
Okay. 1 week, guys, from today to order spices, the special spice line from Chef Amadeus. You're going to go to YouTube, post the picture, make sure you're a subscriber because we'll see the numbers go up, and then you will be able to get 30 minutes free with Amadeus. Only as Mother's Unfiltered LLC subscribers.
Wow. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Once again, if you like what you hear, like what you see, if you like to get unfiltered, definitely hit the subscribe. Thank you, Ty, for patting yourself down.
You got me hungry.
I will share my experience with you all.
No, don't, Kia. Don't share your experience.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Love you guys. Thank you so much, Chef. Thank you so much.
Not a problem at all.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.